All right. Hello again, and welcome to another episode. I am your host, TavonaStarO. If you are returning, thank you for coming back. If you are new here, welcome. All right. On this page, I talk about the law of assumption, manifestation, and all the things that will help you to shift your mindset in the direction where you can experience, what you want to experience for yourself in your everyday life. So, welcome. This episode, now I've gotten the basics of the law of assumption out of the way. If you do not know what the law of assumption is, the law of assumption, pause. The law of assumption is just a universal law. It's just like the law of gravity. And it states that whatever you assume to be true is going to be true for you. Okay, so that's what the law of assumption is. And so I've covered all of the basics in my previous videos. If you want to catch up, you can go back there to each one of them and you can do so. Okay. But this episode, I'm going to talk about starting over alone. Okay. Starting over alone. Um, okay. So I don't know about anybody else, but for some reason, November feels like the start of a new year. Something about um the night before election day um, felt kind of like New Year's Eve to me. And then the next day when they put out the results, um, it felt like New Year's like day. I don't know why, but when I have feelings out of nowhere or seemingly out of nowhere, I tend to go with it and just see like what's to it. And so what I am just for me, what I am assuming is that like this means that it's, we're kind of like embarking on a new beginning. Like it feels like a reset, like a restart. Um and I was on TikTok and I saw a girl pretty much saying like November is like a reset. Like people are kind of cleaning up. They're almost doing like spring cleaning in November. They're ending things, they're getting old things out of the way, and they're starting new things. And I really feel like that. Um, and a part of starting over, or a part of getting rid of old things, is that part where, you're starting over, and sometimes you may be starting over alone. People start over all the time. If you are going from one grade to another grade, if you are leaving one job and going to another job, yeah, I feel like people nowadays it's so normal for people to get divorced if you're ending one relationship and getting into another relationship, if you're moving from one state to another state or from one apartment to another apartment. Like, we're always starting over, and sometimes it can feel like you are starting over alone. If you got to start from scratch, it can feel like you are by yourself. I know at a certain place in my life, maybe even just a few months ago, like maybe around my birthday, I remember. So, just for context, I moved back home a year ago from New York City, and there were things that I left home that I just did not want in my life moving forward. So, I came back home with the intention of just kind of starting over fresh and really starting my life like based off of what I imagine myself being like, or who I imagine myself being. So I thought about everything like, okay, the person who has everything that I desire to have, like, how do they live today? And I just started looking at my life and saying, you know what, I don't want that. Getting rid of that. I want this. I want this instead of that. And so naturally that kind of put me in a position where I have to start over. And at one point I felt like I was starting over by myself. There are people that I consider to be my sister who I realize we're just different now. There were friendships that I had that I just don't have anymore. Um, and on the surface or in the 3D, it can look like, you know, I'm starting over by myself. But this is where the law of assumption comes in, where whatever you assume to be true is true. So if you are the type of person who feel like they're always going through things alone, or they have to deal with things by themselves. Like no one else is with them. They feel alone. You know, if you feel alone, you feel isolated. The truth is, if you continue to believe, or if you see it through the lens of, oh, I'm alone, I'm here by myself, I got to do this by myself, I got to do everything by myself, then that's what you're going to experience. Because whatever you believe is true, is true. That's what the law of assumption is. Like, that's what it means. Whatever you, number one, whatever you focus on is what you are going to get more of. So if you focus on being alone, you're just going to get more circumstances that prove that you are alone. If you continue to think that you are alone, if you continue to repeat thoughts like, oh, I'm by myself, no one else is here with me, I'm always alone, I always got to do things for myself, like I'm starting over alone, then the more you continue to repeat those thoughts, the more you are impressing upon your subconscious mind that you are alone. So you're manifesting more of being alone because you continue to repetitively think that you are alone. Um, Even if that's what you see in front of you right now, the truth is you are the operant power. You are God of your reality. So if you don't want to be alone, if you want to experience a life where you have genuine relationships with genuine people who love you, you are surrounded by people who love you, who celebrate you, who support you, who believe in you, people that you can trust, people that you can rely on, people that just don't take from you, but they invest back into you, they give to you, they're generous. Like, if that's what you want to experience, then you need to stop repeating the story that is opposite of that. You need to stop repeating the story that you are alone, that you are starting over from scratch alone, that you have to do everything alone. You need to stop repeating the story that you're used to being by yourself. And you need to start repeating the story that implies that you are loved, that you are surrounded by people who love you, that you have genuine relationships, that you have people who support you, people who stand by you, that people love being around you, that you are surrounded, that you are in relationships with people who care about you, who go out of their way for you. Like, you need to start to, number one, ask yourself what it is that you want. And then you need to start telling yourself that you already are that person who has what they want. You don't have to go through life alone. You don't have to start over alone. You don't. What you do is decide what it is that you want and tell yourself that you are experiencing that now. Repeat the new story. Keep repeating the new story that implies that you have friends and family who support you, that people find you, you know, great to be around. People love to be around you. You're always doing fun and exciting things. Like, you know, you are always loved and you are surrounded by people who love you. Repeat the new story. Don't continue to persist in the story that you are alone and you are by yourself, because it doesn't have to be that way. But if you continue in that way, then that's what you're going to continue to manifest for your life. So remember, you are the operant power. You get to decide. You get to decide if you are alone or if you are surrounded by people who love you. But either way, you get to decide that you got to do everything by yourself, or you get to decide that people love helping you. You're a priority. People run to come help you. They're more than willing to help you, You can decide that you are within a community of people who are great and amazing. But whatever you decide, just decide the thing that you want to experience. Like, decide on that, like, and stick with that. So just continue to tell yourself the opposite of, I am alone now. I'm starting over alone. Instead of starting over alone, this could be a great opportunity for you. Like, start telling yourself that. Start telling yourself, you know what, this is a perfect place for me to, you know, c- create the life that I want to live. This is a perfect place. Like, this is a great opportunity for me to start over. This is great. Like, I'm really excited. Like, I'm excited about the endless, the infinite possibilities of the different types of friends I can have. This is a great thing. That means that, I could possibly meet somebody new. I can meet some new friends. I could, have a whole new community. Like, this is great. I get to live somewhere I never lived before. I get to, start over with a fresh, clean apartment. Like, this is great. I have a new job. I get to learn something new. I get to make more money. Like, turn what you look at now as a bad thing into like a great opportunity, because however way you see it, you are right. So don't forget that. Don't forget that. Give this place in your life where you are transition, give it good meaning. Everything that goes on in your life, remember to give it all good meaning. Make it mean something good for you, okay? Because whatever you focus on is what you're going to get more of. So you want to focus on the good and not look at starting over alone or being by yourself. All right. So if anybody happens to hear this and you found yourself in the same place where you're like, oh, what am I going to do now? Like, I'm by myself, da da da. Stop that. Cut that story right now and flip the story, okay, in a way that is beneficial for you. All right. Because we are not victims here. We are the operant power. Okay. We get to decide relationships, friendships, community. We get to decide the condition of our life on a day to day basis because we are that powerful. You are that powerful. So, if you want to start for the next 3 to 7 days with an assignment of manifesting friendships, manifesting community, manifesting a mentor, manifesting fun and exciting things to do, if you want to start manifesting, that you are in a great place in your life, this is a great opportunity for you to start over. Like, let's do that. you know think about the things that you want to experience. Make 2 to 3 statements that apply the opposite of starting over alone or being by yourself, and then repeat that. When those old thoughts come up that you are by yourself, look, you got to do this by yourself, you alone, um you don't got no friends, da da da. Like, make sure you repeat those new thoughts or those new affirmations that imply, no, I do have amazing friends. No, I do have supportive community. Like, repeat those new thoughts, repeat the new story for yourself. If you want to write out the old story about how you feel like you're starting over alone, how you feel unsupported, if you want to write that old story down, and then on the other side of the paper, write out the new story. I am loved. I am surrounded by people who love me. I am in a great community of people who are wealthy, who are generous, who appreciate me, who support me, who are fun to be around, who are always doing fun and amazing things. Like, write out the new story and repeat that story when you want to repeat the old story. Okay? Do that for 7 days. And then at the end of 7 days, just see how things have transpired. Even if the only change is that you feel better, that you're starting to feel more, at peace with where you are, and that you're starting to feel more hopeful. Like, that's movement. That means that, like, it's working. You know what I mean? So what I really want you to get is like the shift in perspective. Okay. You are not by yourself. You are not alone. You are not in life by yourself. No, you are loved. You are chosen. You are desired. You are worthy. You are worthy to be around. You are worthy of friends who are not jealous. You are worthy of the investment. You are worth people investing their time. Like, you are fun to be around. You are amazing. It's you, right? It's you. Okay. All right. So I hope this was helpful to anyone that heard it. Okay. If you had one thing that you took away from this whole thing, feel free to share in the comments. But this is all I got for you. If you need to listen to this over and over again until it clicks, then do that as well. But until then, you will hear from me in the next episode.